And away we go.
Me home to the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best, 'cause it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. There's lights that burn so brightly, in the northeast sky they shine. From a place that Geordies worship, where legends wear number 9. You can travel right round the world, even meet the Pope in Rome. But nothing beats the feeling of when you come back here to home. No matter how life changes, we'll never be far apart. The northeast always home, and it's always in your heart. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to It's All Black and White TV, and it's the match review from Manchester City 2, Newcastle United 0. Joined by Rolly. How are you, Rolly?
I'm good, thanks, Tony.
Yeah, just watching that entertaining game there between Nottingham Forest and Everton. Game that we thought Forest might have beat Everton, but it ended up in a 2-2 draw, and all square. But it just proves one thing. We got to go to the City ground on a Friday night, and that ain't going to be easy. And with Brennan Johnson in form at the moment, we've got to watch him out as well. And by the way, Brennan Johnson's a player I would quite clearly want at Newcastle, because I said this last year. I've watched him since Forest loaned him out to Lincoln in League One. He progressed through there very well. He done it in the Championship last season. He's now doing it in the Premier League, which proves he has got a talent, and that lad is Premier League proven now.
Yeah.
He's getting there.
He's very good. I think both teams are pretty poor. Everton are a lot worse than Forest. But, Gibbs White and Johnson are the main attacking forces for Forest. I did have a bit of chuckle when I saw how much Forest paid for Gibbs White, but he's starting to prove that he's actually worth the money. Johnson's just been... I was a little disappointed that Forest got promoted, because if they stayed in the Championship, we'd have a chance of getting Johnson. But outside of those two, there's not a lot there. Their ball retention in midfield and the back is atrocious. So I'm hoping that we get the win on Saturday. Is it Saturday we played Wolves?
Sunday we play Wolves next Sunday, 4:30 kickoff.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get the win there with a few goals, and then go into Forest with confidence. And if we go with confidence in front of goal, I don't see them causing us too many troubles.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got to start goals again.
Yeah, definitely. Before going to any comments, if you like what you see, then please smash a like. It does help the channel up the search results. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, then please get down there and smash the subscribe button. Free to do so, helps the channel grow, and the bell notification will tell you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or an upcoming show. So, guys, before I go to the comments, yes, I put 2 videos out I've put 3 out this morning. One was there's a potential new deal for Nick Pope, which we'll speak about. Secondly, I'd done 2 secret locations. So I went to the first one, and then I went on to the second one. If you haven't seen the videos, check them out. It's a new feature I'm going to start doing. So when Newcastle I'm playing on a weekend, I'm going to start going around different places and give you a few clues, see if you can guess where I am. And then if not, I'll reveal where I am, and we'll speak about that particular place where I'm at. So whether I have to drive there or jump on a train, then I'll jump on a train and physically go there. So whether I'm brave enough to go and stand outside the new den at Millwall, well, that's another thing. But anyway, but yeah, but you never know where I might pop up. I might pop up at a football ground near you, so who knows? But yeah, let's get into some comments. And Trolls is in. He says, "Hey Tony, hi Trolls. I hope you're very well, mate." And he says hi to everybody else. Hi, all says
Stop
Ches.
the
Hi,
transfer.
Ches.
I'll be back shortly.
Okay, mate. I'll just drop Rolly out a moment while he's just sorting out. Hello again, Troll Small World. Afternoon, Tony. Afternoon, Mighty Mac. Hey, Ches. People speaking to each other there. All right, Tony and Rolly, says Joe. Yeah, absolutely fine, mate. Thank you very much. Oh, I'll just bring Rolly back in. There we go. He's back now. Oh, he's buffering at the minute. There he is. Troll says Wilson and Burnout next match, and we will have a chance, in my opinion. Yeah, we're going to speak about all that. Ian says, hi, Tony and Rolly. You all right? Yeah, absolutely fine. Thanks very much, mate. Mighty Mag says, hey, mate. People talking to each other there. We need to go to Europe for players this summer, or wait a month to get two. Or two to get an answer from English clubs, in my opinion. That's the thing, yeah. When you deal with English clubs, sometimes you don't get a straight answer. So I see your point there, Trolls, but I'm sure we'll speak about that during the show. Mighty Mag says, at least the Mackhams got slaughtered on Agent Gale. Yeah, it was blown Gale, 4 spins there in Sunderland, wasn't it, yesterday? It was very strong. Hi, chap, says John. Hi, John. Hope you're well. Indeed, Mighty Mag 5-1. Yeah, the Mackhams love a 5-1 defeat, don't they, you know? Remember Kevin Nolan and the chicken dance? Yeah. Ian says, yep, some beaten late, absolutely. Joe says, you won't be at stadium, never be at a stadium near me. Yeah, well, I won't be flying over to any stadiums. It's all in the UK, mate. So don't worry. Here, Ollie says, Trolls.
Hi, Trolls.
John says, why does Eddie keep playing Wilson? He seems to have gone down since the World Cup again. That's another one we're going to speak about, John. And Ian says, Harry, Tony and Rory, hope you're well, lads. Yeah, Ian, absolutely dapper, mate. Absolutely fine, mate. Bit disappointed by yesterday, Ian, but you know what? We're happy, though. We're still all right, you know? That's the main thing. And yes, so yesterday's game. Right, okay, so I'll start off that... we thought, right, okay, 12:30 kickoff. Let's hope we can do something here. We've had the cup final defeat. That's out the way now. Let's get on and let's do something here today. And I was hopeful for a 2-2 draw in this game. I really thought we would have scored yesterday. We had chances, but obviously Man City went ahead. Phil Foden dribbling through the defence and nobody putting a real tackle in, and when Botman tried to block it, it came off Botman into the back of the net. Nothing Pope could do about it. So 1-0 down after 14 minutes. But I didn't think City were that great of a team, to be fair, especially in that first half. Yes, they had possession, but nothing really done. De Bruyne put a free kick over the bar. And even he doesn't look the same player now, De Bruyne. So then it got like in the first half. I mean, Wilson had that one where they came over and he should have shot with it, and I just don't know what he was doing there. He just didn't connect. Anthony Gordon went over when his right leg hit his left leg, and he went over, and it was just like one of those comical moments. And I thought, right, okay, it's 1-0 down at half time. Let's regroup in there. And I thought, as soon as the second half starts, I want to see the substitute sign come up, that Wilson's gone off and Isak's come on. We didn't see that. He was straight back in. He was straight back in the squad, straight back in the out the dugout, out the changing rooms rather, and back in field of play. Then eventually we took them off, Wilson. So he came off eventually midway through the second half. But again, I think Eddie left the substitutes maybe too late, in my opinion. Because we not only brought on Isak, we brought on Willock and ESM for likes of Longstaff and Gordon as well. So Isak done what he could to try and get the balls in. I mean, when that ball nearly went out by the by the byline, and he managed to keep it in and get a cross in. Yes, it wasn't a great cross, but at the end of the day, it was a cross. There was a cross for Joe Linton, which Joe Linton had connected. That was in the back of the net, and it should have been. So before they went 2-0 up, we had chances to equalise in that game, and we didn't take them. Longstaff had one as well, I forgot to mention, in the first half, where he just took too long on the ball. When he did hit it, Ake got in with a challenge and blocked the ball. Again, you've got to hit these shots first time, if you want to test the goalkeeper. I didn't think they were great at the back. I thought they were pretty shaky, Man City, in all honesty. Bernardo Silva comes on within 2 minutes. He bangs in the second goal for City, 2-0. Then it's a mountain to climb for us. I just don't know what's going on. We're not scoring goals at the moment. It's very worrying. They're drying up the goals. The main thing is we've got a £63 million man who can't get in the starting lineup, but we've got a £20 million man who starts every game and has been woeful since the World Cup. 1 assist, 1 goal in 3 months is not good enough. Not good enough at all. And I'm sorry, but I think Callum Wilson needs to be taken out of that side. He needs to be put on the bench and made to recharge his batteries. Get Isak playing. That's what he's come in for. That's why we pay good money for someone like that. Yes, he's been missing, but now's the time, Eddie Howe, to start to stop being favourites towards Callum Wilson and saying, right, I'm going to have to be ruthless. Yeah, he's going to have to sit on the bench, and you're going to have to bring Isak in. Again, Almiron, he needs to be taken out the team. Murphy, come on. He whipped it across yesterday, and because he's whipping it in with his right foot, Almiron has got no right foot. He's got to push it from right to left. By the time he does that, defenders are all over him, and the chances are gone. So I think Almiron needs to be rested as well. I don't know what the guys think in the chat. Rolly, over to you about yesterday's match. But before I do come to you, Rolly, I'm just going to nip through these quick comments because we've got a couple who've got to go out. So, all right, let's see what. Okay. Just talking to Ian. Gary says, that's a Super Sunday and a half. They have 4 games, Tony. Yeah. They do, don't they? Ian says, to Charles, you should make a roll. Shark Life. Gordon's right foot marked his left foot out of the game. Says, Ches, yeah. Ian says, I can't believe I'm supporting Man U now. Yeah, because if Liverpool win, they go above us.
Man U, wanting Man U to beat Liverpool is a bit like watching your mother-in-law drive over the cliff in your brand new Mercedes. A bit of mixed feelings there.
Yeah. That sounds a bit harsh, Rolly, but yeah. Mikey Mag says Wilson needs rest, and I'd agree. Ches says, gotta go, guys. Got guests over. Keep well all. Yeah. Enjoy your evening, Ches, and thank you very much, buddy. Take care. See you later. Gary says, like I said, the YouTube commentary should have come off at half time, not 60 minutes into the game, Tony. No, Gary, I totally agree. We're leaving substitutions too long. Now, there's another thing going around. Yes, I can see why some people are getting a bit snipey towards Eddie Howe, and I don't want to be one that criticises Eddie Howe in any way because I think the guy has done a fantastic job, right? But what I will say is, when you're a manager, sometimes sentiment's got to go out the window. You've got to be ruthless. And surely Eddie Howe can see that Callum Wilson is struggling in front of the goal. He can see that he's not putting the ball in the back of the net. And you've got a £63 million man sitting on the bench who's chomping to have a starting place and is probably sitting there thinking, well, hang on a minute. He can't score a goal. He can't even buy a goal. And yet I'm stuck here on the bench. Why can't I play from the start? Why have I got to sit on the bench? And I think Eddie has to realise now, and I think he's going to have to start being ruthless. Now, some fans are saying maybe Eddie Howe's out of his depth now and needs to go. Now, that to me is a bit stupid because I don't think Eddie Howe's out of his depth and he doesn't need to go. Eddie Howe is going nowhere. I think we're just having a bit of a struggle at the moment, but I think Eddie just needs to tweak a couple of things and then just get things put back where just do them couple of tweaks. And I know this might sound controversial, but maybe put Murphy back on the right with Isak up front. And, you know, obviously Joe Linton's going to be missing now because he's picked up a yellow card, which Eddie Howe says was a bit harsh. But whether it's harsh or not, it's a yellow card and he misses 2 matches, Wolves and Forest. Now because of that, obviously Willock will come back into the team. Or will he put Gordon and then play Gordon in a free role? Who knows? But Eddie Howe will learn by this experience what we're going through at the moment. We knew we're going to hit this patch at some point, and it's amazing how long it's took before we've actually hit this patch. Yes, we've lost the last 3 games all 2-0. Liverpool 2-0, Man United 2-0, Man City 2-0. Not great. No goals there. And start putting the ball in the back of the net and we could be flying. Yes, Wolves are going to be a tough nut to crack. Lopetegui seems to got them back to winning ways. Yes, they beat Tottenham, but we know Tottenham are a very, very inconsistent team. And we have 2 games in hand over Tottenham. That's West Ham away, Brighton at home. So, yeah, I see what you mean by that, Gary. Troll says, Almiron for rest, Wilson and Byrne because we need something new in those positions. Again, Target only got 4 minutes. And to be fair, you can't start Target because until he's got the minutes in his legs. So I think Byrne's going to play at least the next couple of games. Troll says, wouldn't that be the way parent-in-law could borrow the midlife crisis car? Oh, that's with what Rowley said, wasn't it? Because Trolls are saying that the parent-in-law could borrow the midlife crisis car. Ian says, agree, Trolls need to play Isak and Maxi. Ian says, I'm more worried about staying in the top 6 and going for a top 4. Others are catching up. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, at the end of the day, Ian, and, you know, John Sinclair is a lovely guy. Don't get me wrong. I like John. But I know John's having a show later on tonight and he's put there, but we need to keep up and get back in the top 4. And I said, look, John, we've got to be realistic. We are nowhere near ready to be a top 4 team at the moment. Europa League or Europa Conference League, that would be a better competition for us next season. Champions League would be a disaster, in my opinion, because we haven't got the squad for it. And that's not me being negative or anything like that. If we do end up finishing the Champions League, then we deal with that and we'll have to do something about it. But at the moment, if we finish Europa League or Europa Conference League, it's still success in my eyes, and I wouldn't see that as a backward step. I would see that as a massive giant step. So, you know, that's the way I look at it anyway. But I hope people don't think I'm being negative by saying I don't want Champions League, but I just don't think we're ready for Champions League. Eddie needs growth set, says Joe Linton. Hi to you, mate. Hope you're well. Wilson needs drop, says Ian. Yeah, totally agree. Troll says, indeed, Ian. Starting to doubt how and why he doesn't change the terrible Wilson. ESM left wing, Gordon right wing. Not a bad shout. Bad form for 8 weeks now, says Trolls, and that's yeah, absolutely. Says Joe Linton, and he's speaking to Troll. Right, so yeah, the floor is yours now, mate. Yeah, let us give us your thoughts on yesterday.
It's an interesting one. When I saw the team lineup, I was a bit surprised about Lascelles, but not overly concerned because the last time he started against Liverpool, he had a good game, and I thought he'll give us some sort of attacking threat at set pieces because none of the other centre halves seem to do. I was disappointed that Miggy and Wilson started. I was pleased for Gordon to start. But at the end of the day, they weren't 2 goals better than us. If it had been 1-0, you could say, yeah, but just about edged it. 1-0. 2. It's one of those games where whenever the ball bounced, it bounced to a City player, or they get the free kick where we wouldn't. And I think someone should have blocked off Foden on his run. It was a great run. But if Botman doesn't get a touch to it, that goes into Pope's midriff. It's just one of those things. The second goal was a really well struck goal, but it was against the run of play. I thought it's been the general pattern of the last few games where in the midfield, from our box to their box, we've been superb. I thought we played really well. When we get into the final third, that's where we sort of fall to pieces. We had our chances, and Wilson should have buried his. I thought that Joe Linton, he needs to get something on that. And that's at that point we're 1-0 down. You go to 1-1, different ball game. With Wilson starting, I just wonder if there's something that Eddie sees in training that obviously we don't see, because he does say that a lot, that he looks on the training a lot to decide his team, and if someone done something to change their mind in training, maybe Wilson's training is superb and he looks like he's just about to sort of crack a hat trick, but when he comes onto the pitch, it disappears. And it for me now, it seems to be a confidence thing, because he's not scored for so long. It's a confidence thing. It's like when you look at the West Ham game, he gets that through ball from Longstaff, buries it. Late in the game, he's put 1-on-1 with the keeper, and Agard somehow manages to get back and get a block in. I thought Longstaff's shot that was blocked by Aki, I think that's more the ball just wouldn't come down quick enough to get the shot away, because it was at an awkward height and he had to wait for it to come down to hit it. And that time Aki got back. The substitutions were the right substitutions. Whether he made them too late or not, I don't know. I thought they made an instant impact. I thought Isak was good, faded towards the end, but I thought it had an immediate impact. I thought Willett gave us that drive going forward that we'd missed from midfield. I thought Maxi was giving them problems. When they brought Miggy off for Murphy, at the end of that game, I was thinking, wow, I think I messaged you on, it's either on Twitter or on our WhatsApp group, saying that Murphy put in 3 or 4 really good crosses, which is 3 or 4 more than he did. And he looked good in both directions. I would be tempted to start him on Sunday rather. Been very tempted to start him, because I thought he had that much of an impact. Isak is going to cause trouble. He causes. I think part of our problem is, I think people have sussed out, if you put a low block on us, we're going to have trouble breaking them down because of the way Wilson plays. But with Isak, it's a totally different. We're asking different questions. I mean, the number of times when he takes it right, wide, got to the byline, kept it in, got the cross in. It's the same old story. We're creating the chances, but not capitalising on them. But I get a feeling it's going to be a bit like a bus. You wait ages for one, and then 3 come at the same time, sort of thing. I think once we get going to game where we score a couple of goals, I think the goals will start flooding in. Obviously, J7 got booked, so he's suspended for the next 2 games. So that means that the midfield will be Willett, Longstaff, and Bruno. I don't have a problem with that. I like the way that Willett drives forward. It has a different drive from Joe Linton.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he helps us in the transition because he's got a bit of pace about him as well. I thought Gordon was okay apart from that miscontrol where he's getting ready to shoot and it hits his standing foot and takes it away. That was unfortunate. But we had lots of our passing was a little bit wayward at times. And it's just one of those games where if anything could go wrong, it did go wrong. I think some of the set pieces looked better. I thought that we had a corner with Lascelles up there. There's one corner where it was actually did what was supposed to happen, went back across. But and again, it's a bit like in the cup final. At times, City was scrambling to get the ball away.
Yeah.
I'm concerned with the lack of goals, but I'm not as concerned as I would be if we weren't creating the chances. In possession-wise, at the Etihad, 43% possession, so I think it's pretty good. It's pretty even. Because normally City really dominate.
Yeah.
But the performance overall was okay. It wasn't a bad performance. But until we get that killer instinct back, we're going to be, well, I'm not going to say we'll be in trouble, but it makes challenging the top four unrealistic. Though there are a lot of games to go, I think we should still be aiming for the top four because that way you're looking to win games. I'm sure Eddie puts out a team to win games. At the beginning of the season, I said we'd finish before 8th and 6th, and I think we can do that, maybe even a little bit higher, maybe 5th. So we've got the games in hand. After today's game, we'll have a game in hand on Liverpool. So if they go above us, it'll be by a point. We'll have a game in hand on them. I'd rather have the points in the bag than the game in hand. This season can only be categorized as a total success. We are challenging for Europe and have been all season. We've still got, though our form's not great, when you look at the table and the points, Champions League is in our hands. If we do the business, we can qualify the Champions League. Then it gives us a whole new set of problems with the squad. The problem with our squad is it's not strong enough. When everybody's fit and available, we can make 3 substitutions that keeps the level of performance of the squad the same. Then there's a drop-off. So you have, let's say the starting lineup on Saturday, you have ASM, you have Isak, and you have Willock on the bench. Then the next one down is Murphy, which is a bit of a drop. And then Anderson, which is another drop, but not much. And then when you go outside of that, you're looking at people that are unlikely to be with the club next season. I think if we do qualify for the Champions League, the type of player we'd be going for will probably be a little bit different from what we'll do if we're in the Europa League. I still think the sort of names we're linked with, like with James Maddison's and Mikhailo Savic, are still gettable if we're in the Europa Leagues. But we might look at a higher quality striker, a higher quality CDM than we would otherwise. The same with centre half if we qualify for the Champions League. But I think that we will bring in 5 or 6 players in the summer because when you look at the people we're going to be losing, Dummett's out of contract, he's not going to get a new one. Same with Richie. Then you're looking at Gillespie will go. You're looking at, it's quite possibly Dubravka might go.
Matty Longstaff.
Well, he I don't think he qualified. He's gone. You're looking at Ryan Fraser, definitely gone. So there are 7 or 8 players that will probably move on. I think
Mhm.
if we get a good offer for Lascelles, he'll probably go. So there's a lot of work to be done in the closed season on strengthening the squad. So we'll be looking for players that will push the likes of Murphy down to the level in the squad where he's not going to get on the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been saying it for months. My reasoning why I wouldn't get rid of Murphy now is because he contributes. He gets on the pitch. Right at the beginning of the season, he was pretty poor, but he's
Yeah.
improved. And the last couple of times he's been on, he's actually looked quite good. He's obviously improving. But I always say they're players we need to get rid of before we look at the likes of Murphy or ASM, unless we get a silly offer for them.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if someone offered us 80 million for ASM, I'd take it.
Totally agree.
Not that I want to get rid of him,
No.
but it'd have to be of that ilk. Because at the end of the day, we're trying to strengthen the squad, not weaken it. Murphy's a different proposition. I think that a couple of things about Murphy. I think one is he's getting on a bit now. He's 28 now.
Yeah.
He's about 28, so he's pretty much at his peak now. I think for his ability, his contract is the biggest impediment of him leaving. Because was after this season, it's got about 3 seasons left, something like that. Yeah. At the end of next season, it then becomes more enticing for clubs to want him, and if he improves, it's a few more quid in the bucket in the wallet for us.
Yeah. He's just turned 20. Sorry, he's just turned 28. Rory Murphy.
Yeah, a 40 is that sort of age. There's a lot of work to do. We've got to get with FFP. One of our problems is we've got quite a few players to get rid of that aren't going to bring in much revenue. Unless Nottingham Forest buy them.
Yeah. I mean, he's just turned, like I say, 28. I'll go through some comments anyway. Troll says it's never too early to get Champions League. 1, we get quality players. 2, you get experience. Even if you got the group stage 3, you get better revenues. I totally agree with what you're saying. But I'm just saying, as a team, we're not ready for it, are we? Because we haven't got the squad. And we've got to be careful with FFP, remember.
Yeah. That's a big issue with that. We can buy the players, but if FFP's not, if we're worrying about FFP, it makes it that much harder. As we know, we'll be scrutinised with a fine tooth comb for everything that we do, unlike other clubs. But I'd say we're well ahead of schedule. We need to get rid of the dead wood before we get rid of players that actually contribute to the first team.
Yeah. Troll says, first time you get Champions League, you won't win it anyway. No, we're not expecting to win it, Trolls.
Yeah.
Ian says, don't get me wrong, Tony, Europa League would be great. Just hope we can get that. Clubs are closing on us. Yeah, absolutely. Like Brighton are. I mean, they beat West Ham 4-0. They're on fire, Brighton, at the moment.
I mean, there's some very good clubs in the top 8. Well, you have to be good to be that high up. Looking at Brighton, you're looking at Fulham, Brentford, are very good teams. It's just nice to see Chelsea where they are, even though they did win on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. Foxy says, only positive getting top 4 right now is financially. We'll be forced into buying a lot of players in the summer, which some will turn into panic signings, just like Isak was last summer. I can see where you're coming from.
I don't think Isak was a panic buy. I think they wanted him before Ekitike, but he was too expensive.
Foxy says, Isak's got great ability and potential, just the wrong signing for us. He doesn't fit our system.
I disagree with that. But
Foxy's pretty good with these like South American stuff, and he's
Well, he's
Troll says, yeah, he's Swedish. We scouted Alex since January, so it wasn't a panic buy. He is just better than Wilson, in my opinion, says Trolls.
I think the thing with Isak, the problem we have, he's got that injury. So he's not played a lot of football at Premier League level because he was forced to come on to start against Liverpool. And then he had a couple of games. We had that international break. He got injured. And he's only he started a few games when Wilson was injured. So he's not really had a proper run of games. So he's still probably adjusting to the Premier League. If he hadn't been injured, he'd have played a lot more and would be pretty much up and running. I think it's game time is the main problem. I know people say he needs to bulk up, but maybe a little bit, but you don't want him to bulk up too much because that take away his speed, which is one of his greatest. His speed and his close control is one of his greatest attributes. You don't want to bulk him up too much, but it's maybe changing from playing it behind him to getting things for him to run onto, so that he's facing the defenders when he receives the ball rather than his back to them, so he can terrorise them because he does when he's got the ball.
Yeah, Joe Linton says, bought Gordon for 45 million when we needed two midfielders. That's a fair enough comment. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing with Gordon is that we'd lost Wood and they wanted an attacking player, and he is that. Again, you've got to remember that he is young. So he's 21. So there's got a lot of development to go. And he's got to get all those, all the crap that Lampard coached into him out of his system. And he'll come good. I mean, he's not been bad. Not been bad. Again, I don't think being cup tied helped him with the sitting out the cup final, because the more times he plays, the better he gets used to the system and where he fits in. So he'll come good. It's just a bit of time.
Ian says, I don't think the owners will panic buy. They know who they want. Absolutely, Ian, totally agree, mate.
We don't panic buy.
No. Joe Linton says, Dan Ashworth, disaster class in January. I wouldn't say he's been a disaster class, Dan Ashworth, because look at Brighton, Casido, McAllister, Evan Ferguson, Matoma. You know, the list goes on. All these players that Dan Ashworth's brought into Brighton, he could get these players he could get that similar calibre to Newcastle. And we've just got to give the guy a chance.
I'm thinking, I may be wrong, but I'm thinking Joe Linton's they're saying that it's a disaster class because we lost Wood and Joe Linton and Shelvey and didn't replace them. Well, from what I understand of the deal for Chris Wood, that was just a fantastic piece of business. A £5 million loan fee, £15 million obligation to buy when he plays 3 games.
Yeah.
That means
that's a masterstroke.
Everyone was complaining how much Chris Wood cost us when we paid 25 million for him. At the end of the day, he's only cost us 6 million, and he contributed to keeping it up. That is a deal that they couldn't turn down. Shelvey, with regards to Shelvey, I think part of that is he needed one more game to trigger a contract extension, which I don't think either side wanted. Forest were offering him a 2.5-year deal at his age. You prefer that than the 1 year, and we let him talk. And though I don't know the fee, I'm pretty sure that Forest
10 million.
Yeah, 10 million for a player that is basically out of contract in the summer. It's another piece of business that you don't turn down. The biggest problem with the Shelvey deal is it came so late in the window, so we didn't have time to really get someone in. But I don't blame them for taking that. It's just unfortunate we didn't have. Then it's a bit like when the previous regime sold Andy Carroll on the last day of the transfer window. I mean, personally, I wouldn't have done it because he's one of our better players. and was is playing well in that system. But when you get offered that sort of money, it's hard to turn it down. And they put extra on it because they knew they wouldn't be able to get someone in to replace him. So sometimes you've got to make these hard decisions. Say, in the short term, let's have some short term pain for long term gain. And I think that's what will happen. It's one of those ones where, I think Harrison Ashby will turn out to be a fantastic purchase. He's got he's got a couple of years to learn under Trippier, and then he's got then you hope that he can surpass him. I think Gordon has the potential. We're buying potential there, and I think he'll turn out to be quite an asset for the club in the long run. So sometimes you have to have that, make a decision you don't really want to make because it hurts you immediately. But you look at the long-term picture. We'll have 19 million more of FFP space next season because of the Chris Wood deal.
Yeah.
We'll have 10 more because of Shelby's. So it'll help us in the summer. So the owners say they've got a process, and they look at and evaluate each opportunity that arises and how it best suits the club, not just on the playing side, on the financial side as well. So, but don't panic buy because they do their homework. Because anytime we get in, they've been scouting for ages. They've done all their personality checks and everything, and they don't pay more than they believe the player is worth.
Yeah, right. You're absolutely spot on, Rolly. Right, I'm just going to catch up with some comments. Big ups. Come on, Man United, says Neil. Big up to you, mate. Joe Linton says 220 million midfielders, which is what we need, or an average winger 45 million. Again, it is what it is. January window's gone now, so we just got to move on to the summer now. Foxy said, Sociedad couldn't wait to accept our offer. To be honest, they have improved since Isak left and on course for Champions League spot. Fair enough.
Yeah, but
Max said, can you guys see Anderson going out and loan? That's a funny one, Mighty Mag. I'm not 100% sure, mate, but
I don't think he will.
Depends who comes through the door.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think he will.
Joe
I think
Linton, we need to bring telling if we have Europe, we need a big squad for Europe. We do need a big squad. I totally agree with that. We probably will need to be a big window, that's for sure. We won't bring 10 in. Murphy needs to be sold along with more.
I disagree with you there.
I would say
Murphy
will go if we bring somebody in better.
Yeah, I think Murphy will go after next season. He won't go. He won't go in the summer or in January unless a silly offer comes in for him.
Possible, depends who he's saying, says Ian. Absolutely. Joe Linton says sell Longstaff, sell Wilson, sell Miggy.
Joe Linton, we might as well sell the whole bloody team.
Yeah, we don't want to sell Miggy. I think he's still got enough there. Longstaff's okay. I think Wilson could be the dodgy one in the summer. Well, I think if we bring a couple of strikers in, Wilson could go, couldn't he? He might say, I don't want to be here.
I think we'll get one striker in, and Wilson will be third choice striker.
Troll says Murphy's 28. I would sell him. That's fair enough. Ian says looks like Verstappen's going to win a Formula One championship this year again. I don't understand all that stuff now. It's too technical now. I don't bother with Formula One, to be fair.
No,
but if it's Verstappen, then good luck to the guy. As long as it's not Lewis Hamilton. Mighty Max says, sell Mickey. He's just signed a new contract. He's going nowhere. Absolutely. Jake says, Joe Linton, you're crazy. Don't think Miggy will leave, says Ian. No, I don't think so. Get Isak on the steroids now. Afternoon, guys, says Harry. Afternoon to you, Harry. I hope you're well, mate. And you must have got a notification I was live. Troll says we need a centre midfield before Shelby went, so that wasn't good in my opinion. No, I think we did try to get a centre midfielder in, but it just happened to fail. Chelsea wouldn't let what you call him, Gallagher, come to us.
Yeah. I think we're going to
Joe
have a
Linton,
problem doing business with them in the future, even if they've got players that they want to get rid of. I don't think they want to do business with us, which is fair enough. I mean, I don't particularly have a problem with that because there are not many players that they've got that I'd want, especially with the money that they want for them.
Harry says, we were crying out for a centre midfielder way before the January window. However, it's went and sold Shelvey to Forest. Absolutely, Harry, well said, mate. Charles says, it's not about who is went, it's about having a month to get at least one more centre midfielder. Thing is, Charles, the January window is a very hard window because everybody wants to get as much money in as possibly can. So they want to inflate the players. I mean, you look at Botman last year. We were offering up to 50-odd million for Botman, and they were still turning it down because they wanted 60 million. So we didn't go that far. Go back in the summer and we get him for 35 million. That's the difference between January and the summer. Players in January, the same player in January will cost you a hell of a lot less in the summer because in January, they know teams are panicking to get that because they know teams want to strengthen and they know in January it's a great time to sell players because it can get extra revenue. Yeah. That's what clubs are looking at. And that's why you've got to be cute.
It's not just that. It's a short window as well. You've only got a month to do your business. So, and a lot of teams are reluctant to let the sort of player that we want to buy go because it weakens their side because we're looking for quality players. So they're going to charge more. In the summer, they've got less of the contract left. There'll be people like, look at James Maddison. You come to the summer, he's only got a year left on his contract. Now, then it's squeaky bum time for Leicester. If he won't sign a new contract, do you sell him now and get a decent price or wait till January and sell him for about 10 million? You've got a lot more leverage in the summer. You've got more time, a lot more leverage. And you're working on that. They'll be working on it from now, where the January window, a lot of it depends on your circumstances at the time, injuries, where your position in the league. We come knocking in January. People are thinking, oh, they're going for Champions League. Well, put another 10 million on the price.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the season before, or they're fighting relegation. We'll put 10 million on the price, and we'll know they pay it because they're desperate. The only teams that don't get sort of ridiculous prices, the ones that are mid-table, they're in no danger of going down and no danger of qualifying for Europe. Everyone else, the prices are inflated. It's a horrible window to do business in. You try and do as little as you can in January. You obviously need to do something. So the other way of looking at it is that when Forest came in for Chris Wood, I would have doubted that they were initially offering 19 million for him. I'm pretty sure that they came to us and said, I'll give you 5 million loan and 9 million obligation. We said, oh, we'll put 10 million on that if you want him that bad in January.
I mean, Harry says clubs will know who they want to sign with backup options way before the transfer window is open. So there's no excuses as to why we didn't bring in a centre midfield. Absolutely, Harry, I totally agree.
I disagree with that. It's not no excuse because you're relying on the other club to actually sell them the player that you want and your backup player. And if they don't want to sell, you can't force them to.
No. Foxy says Joe Linton might be sold if he can't control his discipline, laughing. Yeah, he needs to curb it a little bit, doesn't he? That's the problem. Julie says, Miggy's not crap, just a drop in form. Hi all, by the way. Hi, Julie, hope you're well. BF Aiken says, Lewis, Dummett, Fraser, Mankeyo, Gillespie out in the summer. Get rid of Deadwood first. Absolutely, totally agree.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Harry says, Isak has to start. We didn't pay 60 million for him to sit on the bench. Absolutely. Totally agree with that as well.
But
Troll says, we know English clubs keep us hanging, so go to Europe.
The other thing you've got to remember about Isak, he's just turning 23. So he's a long-term investment. is getting used to the Premier League. He's probably about used to it now. I do think that he should start because of Wilson's dip in form. But he wasn't bought to sit on the bench, so to speak. He was bought for his long-term potential. And one of the things I know that they say they do when players come to the club, especially young players, they map out how they see their progression in the team. So they know exactly what they're letting themselves in for. So it's one of those things. I think the cries for Isak to start, a lot of it's due to the fact that we're not scoring.
Yeah, I mean, Gary makes a point there. I hope James Maddison is top of the shopping list, lads. Yeah, let's hope this guy is top of the shopping list. 12 months on his deal. Leicester, it's a last chance saloon to basically sell him for a good price. If they don't let him go in the summer, then they're making a rod for their own back, because they're going to end up with next to nothing for Maddison, and it'll be Leicester City's problem at the end of the day, and it'll be down to bad business by their club. Foxy said, we won't get the money for the players that are clearly out of the squad picture. It will be another case of paying these players off. Yeah, probably will be, Foxy. I totally agree. He said, Championship clubs will take Fraser, but they will not pay his full wages. That is the problem, isn't it? They'll not pay 80 grand a week. But I think Fraser could go to a lower table Premier League side, lower half of the Premier League, so say somewhere like a Forest or something like that. But Harry says, I think we'll go back in for Maddison come the summer. If we don't sign him then, we never will. Yeah, totally agree. Troll says, you have months to prepare for a transfer window. They don't start looking when the window opens. That's what I've heard. Yeah, they'll be planning. That's the thing, yeah, Trolls.
Yeah, I mean, as I said before, just because you're planning and you know who you want doesn't mean you get them, because you've got to have the selling club has got to want to sell them or agree to sell them. As we saw last January with Botman and Diego Carlos, the clubs play silly buggers in January. You put in good deals, and I mean, like with Botman, they wanted what's like 45 plus add-ons we offered for Botman, and then we get him in the summer. We get him for 35. We offered similar for Carlos, and Villa get him for 25 in the summer.
Ian says Miggy's not a to sell. He'll be a great impact sub, absolutely, and I totally agree with him, mate. And Harry says, paying £60 million for a player isn't a player for the future. It's a player for now. We have to start him. Simple as that. Absolutely. And Ian goes on to say, he agrees with Harry. Isak's quality and better than Wilson in every department than Wilson, including the press. Wilson needs to be arrested now as he's shot. Exactly, Ian.
I agree.
The thing is, I mean, you know, Callum Wilson, as much as we admire Callum Wilson, he's done very well for us. You know, he's been great for us. And before the World Cup, yes, he was scoring well. He took his goal well against Spurs when, you know, the Lloris thing happened, and he still played on till the whistle. And then it went to VAR, and obviously it was checked and it was given. Pre-World Cup, Wilson was spot on. Post-World Cup, he's been absolutely dreadful. 1 goal, 1 assist in 3 months. That's not good enough. That is not Premier League striker form, especially at the top echelons of the Premier League. If you want to be in the top half of the Premier League, in the top 6 or top 4, then your team have got to be scoring more, especially your goal scoring forward. And yes, we can say maybe Callum Wilson hasn't had the service, but there's times when he's had the ball put to him, and what's he done? Nothing with it. So I'm sorry, it needs to be addressed. Callum Wilson has to come out the team now. He has to be rested on next Sunday. Give Isak not just one game, he's got to have a consistent run of games. Now, whether you give Isak the rest of the season, a run of games, and keep Wilson on the bench, that all depends on Isak's form, fitness, and whether he gets a sending off or anything like that. But other than that, give Isak a run of games, because the only way this guy's going to get a grip of the Premier League is by having a consistent run of games. And that is what Isak needs, is a consistent run of games. And so, I mean, again, like I say, I think the race is run at the moment for Callum Wilson. I think his best bet is to sit on the bench and recharge his batteries and that the guy in that picture, Isak, come in and take his place. Simple as that. Just getting some more comments. Julie saying hi to trolls. Wilson was a great, as you see before Christmas, had nightmare to teams in the press, but since then he's lost all his pace, isn't fit enough to press. He needs resting. Absolutely, Ian, I rest my case. Seems how is only ruthless to Fraser. Exactly, trolls. That's the thing. But I mean, the thing is, it's Fraser's attitude that's put him in the under 21s. Harry says, Pope Trippier share, Botman share, Target Bruno, Longstaff Willock, Gordon, ESM, Isak has to be the starting 11 for the Wolves game. Do you know what? That's not a bad shout. I would take that all day. But again, I've just got to think of Target's fitness. But then you could give him an hour maybe and then bring Burn on his. Jake says, Wilson sings, hey, Callum Wilson, I want to know when you score that goal in the shower. Yeah, he probably does. His interview after the game, as always, we'll take positives from the game. No, Eddie, we need to stop losing. Absolutely, Julie. That's the problem. Yeah, we do take positives. But yes, we played well yesterday. That's the difference. Man City weren't deserving of that 2-0 win. But the only difference was they scored, we didn't. We can't put the ball in the back of the net. They can. Carabao Cup final, we were better than Man United. But Man United won the cup. Why? Because they put the 2 balls in the back of the net. Because we couldn't. Against Liverpool. Yes, we went down to 10 men. We played better with 10 men against Liverpool. But again, why didn't we beat Liverpool? Because they can put the ball in the back of the net. We couldn't. That's the simple arithmetic for that one. I mean, Trolls agrees with Harry on that one. Harry says both Wilson and Byrne need to be dropped. And Ian says, oh shit, Bruno's just Mr. Sitter. Oh, has he from Man United? Bruno Fernandes, Mr. Goofy. I mean, going to go back to obviously yesterday's game, and you know, I'm gonna highlight a player here. This man on stream now, Jamal Lascelles. Now, everybody was panicking yesterday. We were all thinking, oh my God, why is Lascelles in the team? But then realised Shaw wasn't playing. Now, I'll tell you what it is. Lascelles did a job on Haaland yesterday. He kept Haaland quiet. There was a point where Haaland went into the box and Lascelles stayed on the other side of him, and Haaland couldn't get near the ball. And you could see Haaland got frustrated because of that. Now, I thought Lascelles played really well yesterday. And in my opinion, probably man of the match for Newcastle United. Now, a lot of people might gulp and go, hang on a minute, what are you smoking or what are you drinking? It's got nothing to do with smoking or drink. Well, I don't smoke at all. So I do like to drink, but I don't smoke. But I thought Lascelles played pretty well yesterday. Does he keep his place in the team next week? No, because Cher comes back in. But he came off the bench. He came in yesterday, did the job that was asked of him. And he did it to the best of his abilities. And I thought he had a good game yesterday. And again, this is what we need to see from Lascelles, some good games, because that means in the summer we can sell him on for a fee. That's why I'm saying. But I thought he had a great game yesterday. So I thought Lascelles played pretty well yesterday. Going to some more comments before I come to Rolling asking me his opinion. Can't believe Haaland tried to fight Dan Burn yesterday. Yeah, I saw that as well. It was, yeah. Harry says, when a manager of Pep Guardiola's calibre comes out in the media and says that we are a real threat, it shows exactly where we are as a club. Absolutely, Harry. And he's the only manager who does it. Like said, Mr. Teeth Klopp won't bloody bother, or, Ten Hag or anybody like that, or Mikel Arteta. They'll not say that. Troll says, poor Goofy being likened to Fernandes. Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame for Goofy, isn't it? Mickey was always going to go for Grealish, says Julie. Yeah, wasn't he just? Ian says, Lascelles played really well defensively, but his passing's poor. Yeah, his passing's poor, but defensively, he was pretty sound. Personally, I think Lascelles should keep his place against Wolves, says Harry's performance against City was excellent. Yeah. Joe Litton says, let's buy Bernardo Silva, like John said, haha. Again, I mean, Rolly, give us your thoughts on Jamal Lascelles yesterday.
I was, to start off, I was a bit like everyone else. Oh shit, Lascelles is playing. Then I thought about his start against Liverpool, where he played well. I thought he gives us the presence at set pieces that the other centre halves don't seem to give.
Yeah.
He's probably the first centre back this season that's had Haaland in his back pocket. Didn't let him get anything. I think Haaland had one chance in the game, a header they put over, but he got muscled out of everything else he tried to do by Lascelles. I thought he had a really good game. Shah wasn't in the squad, so I don't know whether what the problem with Shah is, but if he's still not fit for Sunday, I'd be quite happy to have Lascelles start. I mean, he's not this season when he's played, he's not let us down.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Litton saying John would take Bernardo Silva. He's 28 and he's got 2 years left on his contract. I mean, he's going to cost some money. He's rated at £77 million. But at 28, would that be too old for our club? The way we are trying to get for more youthful players rather than the older players.
I don't think that would be necessarily a problem with someone of his quality. I think that yes, we're trying to get the some more youth into the squad, and I think we've done a lot of that. When you look at the likes of Botman, you look at Ashby, Gordon, they're all Isak, they're all young players. 28's not too bad, and a player of his quality, I think. When it comes to the youth, I think that they look at what the cost is compared to the quality, and if they think they're not going to get value for money from the actual player, they won't go for it. But I think each player they evaluate individually, see what he can bring to the team, whether they can feel that he can improve not just himself but the team, what his wages are, what his transfer fee is. They have like a package of how much they're prepared to pay. They'll look at the transfer fee and the actual wages, and then make a value assessment. And if they think the value's there, they'll go for someone that's a little bit older. I mean, you look that they've just given Kieran Trippier and Miggy new contracts. Trippier's 32, Miggy's 29, turning 30. They've both got like 2.5 year contracts, so they're quite willing to have older players. It's getting that cost right. So if there was a package for Bernardo Silva that they felt was good value, they'd go for it.
Yeah, definitely. Guys, if you like what you see, please smash a like. It really does help the channel with search results. If you're new to the channel, then please get down there and smash the subscribe button. Free to do so, helps the channel grow, and the bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows. And if you want to make a donation to the channel, there is a link pinned in the chat there. Just click the link and follow the instructions. Thank you very much. Let's get into some more comments because they are coming in. Tobias, good afternoon to you, sir. He says, apart from Anfield debut, which other game has Isak impressed when he started? I mean, yeah, he did well at Liverpool. I went to the Crystal Palace game at St James's Park, and he missed an absolute sitter there, which he should have buried, really, to be fair. But overall, didn't play too bad. He was okay against Bournemouth, but again, his penalty saved us from getting beat. But he's been out injured, so it's hard to put a finger on that one. But at the end of the day, Tobias, we need him in the team starting games, and then we can have a true reflection of Isak. But you'll probably get a better reflection of Isak next season, because normally the first season is a transition season for any player coming into the Premier League, especially a foreign player. Harry says, Shea got concussion against Man U. Yeah, and that's why he couldn't play through the protocols. We can't just buy youth. We won't get anywhere doing that, in my opinion. It all depends what you're buying in youth and how good a player they are. Ian says, Man U are playing Liverpool off the pitch but can't score. Now, we've passed the buck to them now, have we? And Harry says, we need players who have quality and experience. It's all about finding the right balance between youth and experienced players. Another way for the club to get money back through is getting into the Champions League. I totally agree with Harry. But whether we get Champions League is another thing. But we got 2 games in hand over Spurs. And the Spuds are the gift that keeps giving. Because yesterday they got beat. Did they get beat yesterday because no Conte is back on the touchline next Wednesday because the medical staff have given the all clear to come back after his operation? If that's the case, then we're going to see the inconsistency from Spurs till the end of the season, when Conte will be waving bye-bye to Spurs and saying, I don't care if you're not in the top 4 or not, because I'm leaving, I'm gone, But thank you for my money, Mr. Levy. You've been very, very kind to me. Yeah, I mean, Rolly, you got any thoughts on, about saying we can't just buy youth, we got to buy other players as well?
Well, wasn't it Alan Hansen said in the 90s, you can't win a title playing kids?
You won't win nothing with kids.
Went on and won the title the season we should have won it. We can buy kids because we've still got a nucleus of senior players. You look at Trippier, look at Byrne, look at Shaw, Wilson. They're all in their 30s. Joe Linton, Miggy, they're approaching their late 20s. If you just had a complete team of kids like Southampton have, that's when you run into problems, when you haven't got that mixture of youth and experience. And again, it depends on the quality of the kids that you buy. We're buying quality. But it's you don't want too many kids in, but you want to make sure that there's a youthful element for the team, so you've got that energy in there. People are striving to get better, to push the players above them. I mean, you look at someone like Harrison Ashby. He's one that we don't expect to play many games. He might play cup games. We don't expect him to play many games for a couple of seasons. And then it reminds me a bit of Liverpool in the 80s, where you remember, was it Gary Gillespie they bought from Coventry? No one had heard of him. He sat around in the reserves for 3 seasons, then came, when he started playing, as one of the best centre-halves in the country. Because it's a squad game, you can afford to buy quite a few young players. It's not like in the sort of 80s and early 90s where you basically played your starting 11 all the time, because, I mean, there's seasons when Liverpool and Arsenal winning the league only playing like 14 players to win the league. You need that squad, because I mean, it's easier to get injured because the game's faster. You're playing more games as well. If you're in the cup competitions in Europe, you're playing more games. When you look at the pre-Premier League European Cups that Liverpool won, that was a knockout. There's no group stage. So you'd play maybe 8 games to get to the final, where you play sort of like 8 games in the group stage. And then you've got another 3 games. Then you've got another 12 games to actually, sorry, not 12 games, another 6 games to actually get to the final. So there's less stress on players.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as you're not buying just kids, Casemiro scored, but it's gone offside.
No.
It's similar to the goal that he scored against us and the one he scored had ruled off against West Ham. Yeah,
What a surprise.
It's way offside. Exactly the same ball in. But you've got to get the balance right. You've got to have some youth, and you have to get some. I mean, when you look at the players we've let go, obviously the way the age comes down with both Shelby and Wood going because they're both in their 30s. Matt Rich is pushing 30, so all gone. Paul Dummett as well is pushing 30 if he's not 30 already. So there are a few players that are outside the squad that need replacing. And at the end of the day, you can't just buy old experienced guys because they get old. And then you're going to have to replace them quicker than if you get good young players that you can develop. And if you get them young, it will help us with the FFP because we can get them for less than when they're the finished article.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe it. Liverpool just scored. They've been absolutely pants.
We need quality with experience. Our squad is far from great, says Trolls. Yeah. Firmino in the summer. Do you know what it is? This guy, yes, I'll take him on a free in the summer all day. Yes, we know he's 31, but he's played with Joe Linton as well at Hoffenheim. But again, he'd be a great player to have on the bench at strength and depth. And it doesn't matter where he goes. I think even if he goes to any other top level team, he's still going to be on the bench regardless. I can't see him being he's not going to be a starter, that's for sure, but he certainly won't be a starter. But he'll be a great player off the bench. And if we need a goal or two or an assist to set up a scoring chance, then this guy is definitely the one. I mean, what's your thoughts, Rolly?
I'm mixed on this one. He's a great player. I think he'll cost too much. I'm not sure he fits into our plan. But I think the wages it will be the problem on that one. Will he want to sit on the bench, or will he want to go somewhere, go abroad where he'll play? Be the sort of like the start.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, but that's a great comment, and yeah, right. Harry says we need experienced professionals like Trippier who have experience at the highest level for both country and club. Unlike Wilson and Byrne, absolutely. Troll says, if you want to win things, you need players who have experience at winning things with pressure. You get that from, in my opinion, you get that with Trippier. Harry says, 100% agree.
But you need to get experience. You need to get into the big games. So if we get to a cup final next season, we'll be better because we've been there before. But you've got to start somewhere. Yeah, and just because you buy players that are experienced like that doesn't mean that it's automatically going to transcend into winning things. It's the club has to go through that process itself and actually becoming a winning club. It's going to win things. I mean, when I first started getting into football in the 70s, though Man United were the biggest club, they hadn't won anything in decades. I mean, there was the old joke was when Nelson Mandela was came out of Robben Island after 25 years. The joke was, what's the first thing that he said when he came out of prison? Had Man United won the league yet? Because they were a mid-table club.
Yeah.
Then Alex Ferguson came along, and they won a cup, and then they won another one, and then they started winning league titles. They started to build that belief that the club will win competitions when it gets to the finals. We're not there yet. We go there thinking, right, we're good enough to do it, but we haven't done it yet.
I like coffee. Hi, Tony. Hi, coffee.
And we've had players that have won big competitions in the past at the club, and still hasn't translated into the club winning anything. It's not necessarily a club mentality thing, but I think that the club's got to learn to win when it comes to big occasions.
Yeah. Trolls says 26 is an old but can have experience. Absolutely, Trolls. Coffee says, how was the coffee at Bury or Ipswich? It was fine, thank you very much. I like coffee. A nice latte, so thank you very much, and glad you enjoyed that series. That is going to be a regular thing, by the way. So if people have just tuned in, this morning I went to 2 different secret locations within about 36 minutes drive of each other. And if you haven't seen them, then after this show, pop on, have a look at them, and they were pretty good. And this is going to be a regular thing, so I'm going to do this again next weekend. So next Saturday, I just got to look at fixtures and see where certain teams are playing, making sure they're not at home, because I don't want to get mixed in with the fans and things like that. And then what I'll do is I'll pop up at another secret location. The problem is my clue on the video, I think, is actually there before anybody realises a clue. So somebody was eagle-eyed to spot that one. And that's what's great about this, when people have got eagle eyes. So I'll make sure the next time I do a secret location, nothing's given away. But yeah, no, other than that, it was pretty good. And yeah, I'm going to have a decision where I'm going to go next weekend, which will be Saturday. So I'll be doing a secret location somewhere, but where? Who knows? Could it be outside Millwall's ground, or could it be outside Southampton's ground? Who knows? You know, am I brave enough to stand outside of Millwall doing a podcast from there? Probably not, no, because I'll probably get robbed, to be fair. But yeah, but I'll be doing something somewhere, and you will find that one out. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned. I like coffee, says Ian. Coffee says Firmino's teeth is better than Jurgen's. Eddie's black and white army says we need players who are experienced to be able to put the medals down on the table like Firmino and Bernardo Silva. Absolutely.
I'll take Silva. I'm not sure about Firmino.
Our squad isn't as good as people think. No, it's not. Firmino says Foxy would be an incredible signing for us. Was great before the World Cup. Unlucky not to go. Unfortunate with the recent injury. Better than anything we have for that position. Do you know what? I totally agree, Foxy. I'll take Firmino all day. BS says we don't need Firmino. He's a Liverpool cast-off they're getting rid of. Actually, we are. They're not getting rid of him. They wanted to keep him on a longer-term contract, but it was him who said no. He wanted to go. So he wanted to go for a new challenge. So Firmino didn't want to leave. Liverpool didn't want him to leave, but Firmino did. And Foxy's just backed up my comment there. Liverpool want to keep Firmino. He's leaving for wanting a new challenge. He's won everything there, absolutely. Eddie Howe says, Liverpool want to keep Firmino. He's leaving because... Oh, yeah, you've said exactly the same as what Foxy said. BS says he wants to leave Liverpool because the wheels are coming off their bus. Yeah, probably. Harry says, Luton Town next week. I'm not sure yet. I haven't made plans to where I'm going yet. You know, I'm there on Tuesday night. I'm actually tempted to go down to watch some football. I might pop to Ipswich and go and watch the match there. They're playing Accrington Stanley at home. £23 to get in. So I don't know. I might pop down. I might go down Tuesday night because it's only, like I say, it's only about 45 minutes from where I live to get down to Ipswich. So I could go down there and watch a game. Just as long as I don't, well, I'll just make sure I just wear normal clothes, nothing with Newcastle on whatsoever. Although, to be fair, I don't think the Ipswich fans will have anything to say because there's a bit of an affinity there between Ipswich and Newcastle fans because of a certain Sir Bobby Robson. But yeah, I may go down. I mean, I haven't decided yet if I'm going or not, but if I do, I'll do a vlog from in their stadium for you as well. And yeah, so... because they have got quite a nice stadium down there at Portman Road. My guess, Tony's secret location be Afghanistan, says Joel. No, definitely not there. Definitely not there. Harry says, go to the den. Yeah, I'm not so sure, Harry. It's a bit of a dodgy area, that, isn't it? Can you imagine if Millwall come to the Premier League there? Well, I don't know. West Ham might not be in the Premier League next season. So if West Ham go down, can you imagine West Ham Millwall next season in the Championship? Jeez, be a bloodbath. Foxy says, Firmino has the intelligence that we are missing on the pitch. More creative than anyone we have. It's not even close. Absolutely, Foxy. BS says,
I'd rather have Maddison.
Remember us buying PS, Rush and Bonds? That worked out well, says Bia. Yeah, I mean, PS was a hell of a signing for us. Harry says, Firmino has similar stats to Callum Wilson per season. Yeah, but he's got that different part about him, his game. Harry says, Accrington and Stanley, who are they? Yeah, remember that advert very well. It used to be a great advert on the TV, that. Because the little kids used to say, do you remember I'll grow up and I'll play for Accrington and Stanley? And they go, who Accrington and Stanley? Who are they? If I can find the clip, I'll put it on for you. Troll says, we need to strengthen the first 11, not buy subs if we want to evolve. Yeah. Coffee says, only a matter of time before Tony's secret locations episodes will include Madrid, Milan, Miami and Dubai. Miami and Dubai, that may be out of reach, but Madrid and Milan, that's a possibility. Jake says, how come you live down there, Tony? I've lived down here for 11 years now. But yeah, I work down here now, so I've lived down here 11 years. But my roots, I lived, first 40 years of my life, I lived in Newcastle, and I never forget my roots. But at the end of the day, I'm here now. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm still a Geordie, always will be a Geordie, and that will never be, you can take me out in Newcastle, but you can't take the Newcastle out of me. That is for sure. So, Harry says, imagine the image Millwall would portray in the Premier League. It would be like Green Street and Football Factory week in, week out. Just don't want them in the Premier League once whatsoever. I used to remember in the 80s going into Newcastle for the match, and some of my mates wouldn't go because they were like, we're not going if it's Millwall or Chelsea, we are not going to the match. And they were worried for my safety, saying, I hope you're safe and I hope you get back safe. Because when Millwall and Chelsea used to come to Newcastle, everybody who was shopping used to go down in the morning, used to get all our shopping done. The town was empty of shoppers by 1 p.m. The windows would all be boarded up because when Millwall and Chelsea come, they used to smash all the shop windows on Northumberland Street and Pilgrim Street and all that in Eldon Square. So they used to go on a rampage. They were terrible, those fans, and they had to board all the shops up. They were absolutely woeful. Gary says, we're going to do one at Millwall, make sure it's in the middle of the night, hopefully nobody about. Sure, I wouldn't do that in the middle of the night. Jesus Christ, Gary, no chance. I would, no, not at all, mate. Joe Linton says, Tony in Brazil. Yeah. Hawaii? I don't think it'll be Hawaii. Harry says, once a Geordie, always a Geordie. Doesn't matter where you go in life. Absolutely, Harry. Absolutely, mate. Foxy says, Tony in Swaziland. West Ham, Leeds, Millwall, all in the Premier League. Yeah, that's a nightmare, isn't it, Harry? Via Viking says, Guantanamo? No, I don't think so. Mexico, El Tony, says Joe Linton. No, I don't think so. It's going to be UK, but yeah, it'll be exciting, and I'm sure people will enjoy it. And it's something new. It's something that other podcasts don't really do, to be fair. So if I can do something like this, I think it'll be really interesting, and I think eventually it will catch on. People will catch on to it and think, oh yeah, this is good. It's not something I want to do once and then not do it again for a while. If I do something like weekly, people will get used to it and they'll be like, oh yeah, this is great, and they'll enjoy it. Togo says, Foxy, nah, not for me, mate. Thank you very much. I mean, you've watched the 2 videos. I mean, what did you make of it? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah. It's trying to guess the club and the player. It was quite interesting because my first thoughts on the first one was going to be because he said it was in Suffolk. I thought, it'll be Colchester. But it was obviously Bury from Bury St Edmunds, which is quite good. and the fact that you're linking it into Newcastle is great. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely. Coffee says India, Japan, Australia. BS says you need to get a black and white hoop jumper and a bobble hat. We can call it Where's Tony instead of Where's Wally. Yeah. Well, if you get a brolly and put it up, you can say Where's Wally with a brolly. Steve McLaren. Tony in Nepal says trolls. We want Centralese. But yeah, I mean, looking ahead to next week, Rolly. I know it's a bit early to ask for like team news and things like that. What do you want to see next week? What do you want to see Eddie Howe do to that lineup next week? What changes would you make? Where would you make them? And why would you make them? So there you go, Rolly.
Right. Obviously, in midfield, Willett comes in for Joel Linton. Obviously, because Joel Linton is suspended for the next couple of games. I'd like to see him start with... I'd give Gordon another try at the starting, but I want to see Isak. All depends on whether he wants to play Gordon on the left or the right. If he wants to play him on the left, I'd start Murphy on the right. If he wants to play on the right, I'd start ASM on the left. At the back, it all depends on his fitness. How fit is Matt Target? Is what I want to know. Mm-hmm. If he's fit enough to go 60, 70 minutes, I'd start him. And then if Fabian Schur's not right, you have Jamal Lascelles again, the centre half. He did nothing wrong yesterday. I thought he had a good game. So there's one enforced changed and a few others.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, yeah, I would take Isak out. I'd take Wilson out the team and bring Isak in.
I think everyone agrees on that one.
I'll bring Almiron out and put Murphy in his place. Because Murphy's put some good crosses in when he's come on. Mm-hmm. I would put ESM back on the left, maybe, against Wolves. Now, obviously, Joe Linton's out, so who do you replace him with? Willock, or do you put Gordon in there? Personally, I'll put Gordon in there and give him that free roll like we did against West Ham, and it seemed to work quite well. So I'll put Gordon in there, give him the free roll. And if Target is fit enough to start, then yeah, start Target in place of Byrne. I do think Sher will come back into the team, though. I think the Cells will drop out next weekend, unfortunately. I know he had a good game, but I think Eddie will keep it consistent by keeping Sher in there with Botman. So I do think he'll come back in. And apart from that, that's the only changes I would make. I mean, do you want to give a prediction for next week? I mean,
we're at home, aren't we?
Yeah.
My too early to tell prediction is 2-0 Newcastle.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. 2-0 as well.
Yeah,
I'll take that. And
I'd take 1-0 at the moment.
Yeah, even an own goal.
Yeah. Yeah, own goals count, as Bournemouth found out.
Yeah.
Coffee
says Jacoberto Carlos on the right wing.
But I think we can do. Though Wolves have had an uptick, they're not that great, and they can be got at. I'd like to see Isak start. Probably ASM with either Gordon or Murphy on the right. Mm-hmm. But I've got the sneaking suspicion he's going to start Wilson again.
We'll see. Yeah. I mean, Foxy says Wolves have looked decent lately. They have under Lopetegui. Yeah, he's got them playing well.
All up trees though.
No. Aditya Shrivastava. Good afternoon to you, sir. He says, hello, Black and White TV. Your prediction for the top 6 this season? Yeah, let's hope we do finish the top 6. But it is what it is. We'll find out where we finish at the end of the season, and that the next few games are going to define where we are finishing. We've got some games which are winnable now, so the likes of Forest and Wolves, we should hopefully be getting 6 points out of them too. But again, it depends on if we can put the ball in the back of the net. Foxy's going for a 1-1 draw. Fair enough. Coffee says 3-0 for us to win. How are you, the lads? He says we're saving all our goals for someone to get a hammering, says Coffee. Yes, we are, Coffee. We are indeed.
That's the thing, because we've been creating the chances. I mean, before the World Cup, we'd be putting 2 or 3 of those chances away every game. Just not this at the moment.
Yeah, we're not putting them away at all. So, right, guys, we're coming to the end of the show now because we've been going an hour and a half. But before we go, Rolly, do you want to let people know where they can find you on your social media? Not as many as what John Sinclair's got. He's got about 50 of them.
I'm on Twitter at Pols67. If you follow me, I'll follow you back.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Rolly. Aditya says Newcastle are like glorified Wolves, isn't it? Both struggle to score, but Newcastle over better side. Yeah, I can sort of see where he means we're a better side than what Wolves are. Coffee says bye, Tony, Rolly, and all. But bye to you, Coffee. So yeah, guys, before we do wrap up, let's go through a couple of things. If you like what you see, smash the likes. It really does help the channel with the search results. So I've got 20 on, so just smash those likes on your way out. Thank you very much. If you are brand new to this channel, please get down there to smash that subscribe button. Free to do so, helps the channel grow, and the bell notification that will tell you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows as well, guys. So thank you very much indeed.
Oh, there's 2 now.
Julie, 2-0 Liverpool.
Nunes.
It looks dodgy.
Let's see if the VAR.
Oh no, because it's a different phase of play, so it won't be. Cheers, guys. Great show, says Ian. Thank you very much, Ian. Liverpool are living on luck, says Beer.
Yeah.
And take care. Yeah, so guys, you can find me down there on TonyTooney31. Give me a follow and I'll follow you back. Also, you can find me on my channel, so that's obviously what you're on now. Coffee says Glazers Out will be trending after tonight. Yes, it will be. Definitely.
Yeah,
take care, Ian. So, yeah. So, guys, was known as the Uruguayan Andy Carroll. Yeah.
Why didn't Man United defend like this last Sunday?
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, why were they this poor now? But, yeah, maybe their bubbles burst, Man U's. But, yeah. But, guys, thank you very much for this afternoon's show. Thank you to Rolly for coming on. Not the result we wanted yesterday. It's not been the greatest of times at the moment. But you know what? We're still there. We're still fighting in the top 7 of this Premier League table. So while we're still there, we're in with a chance of finishing anywhere in that top 7. So don't be too despondent. Yes, we need to get back to scoring goals and scoring goals quickly to start winning games. That's a real must at the moment. But yeah, take care, whatever you're doing for the rest of your evening. And remember, where I might be at a ground near you, who knows? I could be anywhere in the country next weekend, who knows? But just tune in for that on Saturday and find out where I will be on my next session. I may go down to go and watch the Ipswich game on Tuesday. If I do go down there, I might do a vlog from the stadium for you, so look out for that as well. If you want to have a look what Portman Road looks like on the inside. Good point, Rolly, says Julie, and goodbye all. Thank you, Julie. Goodbye to you. On about Liverpool. So, yeah, guys, so thank you very much indeed. And so from me, from Rolly, it's goodbye and enjoy your evening. Ta-ta for now. How are the lads? Up the tune. The Saudi mags are still going strong. Bye bye for now, guys.
Cheers.